week, we are getting a lot closer to a major announcement by Vice President Joe Biden on a potential run to take his current boss's job. And sources say we could get word as early as the next 48 hours on when he might announce. But after Hillary Clinton's strong debate performance, the big day could depend on her testimony in front of the Select Benghazi Committee and whether she holds up to all of the committee's questions. Chris Stirewalt is Fox News digital politics editor and the author of Fox News First, and he joins me now. So we've been hearing this news that, Joe Biden, well, he's about to make his announcement. Well, any day now, Joe Biden's going to get in. What do you think?
Well, 3 months we have been on the Biden watch, waiting for some news, for some final sign where it was going to be the end of the summer, and then it was going to be the beginning of fall, and then it's pushed, and now we are getting late in October. Can he still run? Sure. He has 100% name identification. He also would have at least the divided support of the president, and he would have the knowledge that he has from 2 prior presidential runs. Can he win? Well, that's a good question, because Hillary Clinton, as we see in polling out today, is in a dominant position in her party. They have forgiven her mostly the transgressions related to her email scandals and other things. She has flip-flopped on a host of issues that seems to have satisfied Democrats. Joe Biden can run. Can he get to the finish line with a win? I don't know.
No doubt. Okay, let's move on now to our 2016 Power Index. Things settling down a little in the Republican field. Rankings for you, Chris, staying the same this week for the top 4 at least. Senator Ted Cruz coming in again at number 1. Senator Marco Rubio right behind him, followed by outsider Carly Fiorina at number 3, and Donald Trump rounding out the top 4. Why no movement for you?
Well, look, they each had pluses and they each had minuses, and they basically canceled each other out. Donald Trump is in a dangerous space talking about 9/11 and blaming George W. Bush. That's a tricky space to be as a Republican. But at the same time, the people who are behind him in line, there's nobody who can rival Trump there for that 4th slot. Fiorina staying steady. Rubio continuing to be sort of the consensus choice among the Republican establishment. And Ted Cruz with a lane laid wide out open for him as he continues to raise huge money and build big organizations.
All right. I want you to take a look at a new Carly Fiorina ad. It's very interesting because she's decided not to take on any of her fellow GOP contenders. Instead, Hillary Clinton.
If their states agree, then we want more states to do the same. That's why I would go further than even the executive orders that President Obama has signed when I'm president.
President Obama entered Washington with majorities in the House and the Senate. He could have chosen to do anything to solve this problem. Instead, he chose to do nothing.
This has been smart for Fiorina, has it not? Because when people see this, they think about Fiorina taking on Clinton, woman versus woman.
Well, they think about that, yes, and certainly there's a gender imperative here. But you know what else Republican primary voters are seeing? One of the ugliest, stupidest primary fights. I mean, this is an endless, just absolute tail-kicking contest among Republicans who are finding new and more savage ways to denigrate one another. Anything that a candidate can do to raise his or her profile, but not have it be fighting a fellow Republican and dragging them down, that's something that primary voters are going to respond well to. So I think, yes, it's smart from a woman v. woman general election to envision that. But I think it's just very smart for a Republican primary electorate that is sick to death of this stuff.
All right. Very interesting take from Chris Stirewalt. See you next week.